Imagine being so small-minded that you are currently in a position where you do not have multiple properties, but you think it's a good idea to buy a 30 grand watch that will not get handed down, that will not get passed down through the next generations. So you can convince yourself all you want. Please find me examples, multiple examples, where an individual's walking around with a 30 grand or 100 grand watch that his great grandfather times 5 wore and bought initially. Whereas if you go onto YouTube, you can find examples of people living in manor houses that was owned by their great grandfather times 5. I mean, don't do it, but you could go and knock on some of these people's houses in the countryside that live in these manor houses, and they will tell you, yo, my great grandfather times 5, he owned this property. It's just so stupid. But again, it's a small-minded mindset, and it's the sort of like urban mindset where you actually aspire to have some little thing on your wrist that tells the time and has some shiny rocks in it, which are diamonds and that. You think that's a good thing to aspire to have. How about having multiple properties so that when your children grow up, they have their own house or at least their own flat to live in, rent-free? Just don't make no sense. Right now, if I had children and they were of age, my son, my daughter, my 2 sons or my 2 daughters, they could live right opposite each other. I didn't say across the street and around the corner. I mean opposite each other. If you didn't know, I've got 2 flats that are opposite each other. If you've got a good, you could spit and hit one of you could hit the door opposite. That's what I've done for my lineage. That's what I've done for my bloodline. Having a 30 grand watch, 30 grand AP or 50 grand Rolex, they ain't doing nothing for your bloodline. You can keep convincing yourself all you want that it's a good idea. It's mad. The majority of the people that are obsessed with these watches, they're all living in social housing. And the people them who have their own property, have multiple properties, don't give a damn about these watches. Yeah, they might think, they look nice and that, but they don't have them. And if they do have them, these watches are just a tiny little fraction of their savings, a tiny little fraction of their net worth. You see, the difference between people that look like this and people that look like this is, if people that look like this come into a lot of money, say a couple mil, people that look like this, they'll be looking to blow the majority of it on a watch. People that look like this, if they come into say a couple mil because they won the lottery and that, I don't even think the thought would even cross their mind, really and truly, to buy a watch. If they did, they'll probably spend 10 grand, 15 grand. You see, it's all relative. People have come underneath my videos where I've talked about, Rolexes and APs and that. And they say, but Jeff Bezos' watch cost this much. Or Mark Zuckerberg's watch cost this much. Yo, them man, they are billionaires. So of course it's acceptable for them to have a fucking 400 grand watch. They're billionaires. You man will have a mil and spend 400,000 on a fucking watch. It's all relative. That's like being on a 30 grand salary, but then you're trying to drive a fucking Range Rover. No, get the Range Rover when you're on a fucking at least 80, 90, 100 grand a year. And even then, I mean, how much is a Range Rover? I was looking at them like to finance. I think it could cost you like £700-800 a month to lease or finance a Range Rover. If you're on 70-80 grand a year, PAYE, after tax, you ain't got that much money. I think 70-80 grand PAYE after tax is like 4.5 grand, something like that. So if you're on 4.5 grand, and let's say the payments are £800 a month, you're knocked down to like what? 3,700 or something like that. So it's still a large chunk out of your money, man. You people just need to change your mindset, man. I can't believe there's people still walking around on planet Earth that are obsessed over these fucking stupid watches. Me, I got money and I don't care about owning a watch. I could become a millionaire tomorrow. I could win 5 million in the Camelot lottery. None of that, not even a penny I would think about spending on a fucking watch. No way.